Hi everyone, it's Diane and I'm about to start on these fabric covered journals that I mentioned briefly in a previous video. This is going to be the cover for my Artsology design team project for October. So I thought I'd better get with it. It is the 15th? So we're halfway through the month, yeah. So I'm going to make several, I don't know how many, but I'll start on 2 anyway, of these journals. I have all of this Cori Dantini fabric. She's the artist that does these wonderful illustrations. And the panels are just the right size for this. So what I did was I took a piece of 8.5 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 cardstock and I scored it so that there's a 1/2 inch spine. I'm getting my ruler so I can tell you exactly how I did it. So it's 11 inches. I scored it at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4 because the 5.5 inch mark is right in the middle, and I just went out a quarter of an inch from that, so you get a 1/2 inch. So 5 1/4, 5 3/4 from this edge is scored. And then it will fold into this book, and it gives you a front cover and back cover that are 5 1/4 by 8.5. So I'm kind of playing this by ear, hoping I have a game plan. I'm hoping it's going to work. I guess if it doesn't work, I just won't post this video. So I took a vintage pillowcase, and I had already taken off the decorative top part, but it was plain white. The rest of it was plain white. So I ironed it. It's a nice thick cotton fabric. It doesn't have any polyester in it from what I can feel. It just feels like cotton, and it's got a really nice feel to it. So I am going to sew it to this cardstock. I think I will use some Fabri-Tac so it doesn't shift too much on me. I'll just put a little Fabri-Tac, and it will probably show through, but I'm going to put that fabric on top of it, the Cori Dantini fabric. Yeah, you can see the glue showing through there. And I will flip it over so I know where I'm sewing. I left extra fabric on there in case the fabric shifts, and then I'll just trim it off. And I'm just going to use a straight stitch, pretty close to the edge of the cardstock. Okay. Now I'm going to trim it even with the cardstock. If you wanted to, you could wrap it around, but I'm just going to trim it. So this is the size of the cover. Now, I want to put this panel on the front. It says Blooming from Within. And each panel has a little decorative piece below it. So what I would like to do is sew this to the front and then wrap this around to become a pocket. But I want to cover this with decorative paper. So I'm just going to sew around this piece and leave this part hanging for now. And I want to make sure it doesn't go over that edge. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue to hold it in place. Okay. So I moved it down so that edge, I didn't want this part up on there. I want it all to fold over. And the design is upside down. See, the butterfly is upside down, but I don't mind it. It's not that noticeable. Butterflies fly that way. So I will end up trimming this. It's a little over the edge there. In fact, I'll do it right now so it doesn't interfere with my sewing because it's folded. And I'll trim that better once I sew it down. And now I think I'll use the zigzag stitch for this. Oops. I think I'm running out of bobbin thread. Darn. No, I'm not running out of bobbin thread. What happened? I think the thread got caught on the spool, on a little notch on the spool. Well, at least I don't have to stop and wind a bobbin. That's almost full. I don't like it when I'm on a roll and I have to stop. Okay. That thread just came right out. My needle came unthreaded. The spool is running low, but I think I should have enough to finish this cover. You're probably going to see my head because I have to get in there to see this needle hole. I didn't get in there as close as I would if I wasn't on camera. Okay, now let's hope this works. Ah, that's better. so that this fabric, see how it's not adhered down here and it's kind of loose. I'm going to put it back on the straight stitch and just kind of loosely outline her, just to stitch the fabric down a bit. And it is messy stitching. I'll go around it twice. I think if you go around it twice, it just emphasizes the sloppiness, and so it's not like, ooh, she did a terrible job on that, but it's like, that's the way it's supposed to be. So now the fabric is tighter down to the board, to the cardstock. Okay, now on the back I have this piece. It says Plant Happiness. Just spread the glue out thin so that it doesn't show through. It's hanging over too much. So I will have to trim more off this edge. So we're going to go back to zigzag. This fabric is folded under, so I'm going to hold it over there and we'll stitch it down. I have to stitch that edge again because the fabric hangs over and I was off the card. So I'm going to stitch it again more on the card. Okay. Now I can trim this front edge. So I just got back from my granddaughter's soccer game. She goes to a small Christian school in New York, and it was senior day. It's almost the end of the soccer season. So they were just honoring the seniors that are on the team, the boys and the girls. So that's why she wanted us to go. And so that was nice. We watched her game and they won. They're undefeated. But They, you know, they just play with other small Christian schools in the area. So this means the trees are going to be upside down, but I don't really care. I just want to fold it over and have a pocket. Anyway, it was good. It was good to get to go see her game. Now I'm going to take some eyelet and sew it down the spine. Straight stitch for this. It's hard to believe my granddaughter is a senior this year. Wow. My baby girl. And I'm going to sew, let's see, it's kind of going to be hard to sew around him, but I'm just going to do a rough outline around him. And hope my thread lasts that long. I think I should do twice around him too. I'm sorry. There. I still have some thread left. Okay, so there's the outside. I may add some trim across the top where there's none of this fabric is up there, but it's still got that nice sheet fabric. The sheet fabric is completely covered now, except for that. So I'm going to take some paper and cover the inside. So I guess I know I need to make it 8.5 by 11, right? going to make it a tiny bit bigger than that. In case it shifts. And I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to use a wet glue and not my ATG glue because I'll still be doing some sewing on here and I don't want to sew through the sticky tape. The glue will dry and won't be a problem. Now I'm going to have to let that dry before I fold it and then sew this up. So what I have to do is just trim the paper around so it's even. And then once the glue is dry, I can fold this up and sew a pocket on. Maybe I'll sew a little trim across the top too to give us a little more sturdiness. So let's look in here. This is my little box that has shorter pieces of trim, and it's getting pretty full, so I need to start using it. I mean, I do use it, but I need to consciously get into it and get it emptied, or less empty. Less full. You know what I'm trying to say. I just tidied it up, so I'm still trying to keep it tidy. It's probably too big. Maybe I won't find a piece large enough to do both pockets with the same trim. Unless I do something like this. Oh, that's pretty. That's big enough. I spent a lot of time yesterday organizing my drawers of laces, and it made me very happy to see the completed project. I'm working hard on organizing in this room. Right now, this table over here has my sewing machine and then my main workstation. It's the messiest place in the room. I've just kind of pushed things aside because as I've gone around the room organizing and destashing and stuff, I've been putting stuff on this table that needs to be dealt with that isn't going to stay in the area that I was organizing, you know what I mean? So this is the last wall of the room. I'm trying to get this in there. Okay. I've done the other 3 walls and they're all the stuff that's on them. And this is the last area. There's a lot of stuff in this area. But like I said, I've got a lot going on this week. I had my granddaughter's game today. I worked this morning and then went to my granddaughter's game, and then tomorrow I have to go out of town. I mean, it's just half an hour away. but we have a work meeting with everybody in our district. So that's going to be longer than the normal, just, 3-4 hours that I work. And Thursday I have off, so I'd like to go visit my parents, but I should have more time in here, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And try not to get uptight about stuff. I can only do what I can do, so I just try to go with the flow, but I'm usually not very good at that. I've got my plans, I want to do this, and you're making me do that. Okay, I think the glue is dry enough for me to at least trim the paper. I think this is turning out quite nicely. If it bothered you to have those little bits upside down, of course you can cut it and just sew it on the front and then flip it around and sew the piece on the back. I might have to do that with some of the other panels. I didn't really pay attention to what's on them. Be careful not to cut the fabric here as I trim the bottom. I do want to make good and sure that the glue is dry, so I'm not going to sew these on right now, but you get the idea. Once the glue is dry, all I have to do is sew here, 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 and then I have, let me fold this. So I want to crease the liner paper, and then I will have my, I will have my finished cover. I can make the second one and then I can work on the pages. The second one, I think, where's the fabric I chose? I think I'll do at least 3 in this batch, but I have this one. These panels are from a piece of fabric called the Makers. They're all crafty people. This one is an embroiderer sitting under a tree. And this can be folded up, no problem. This one is a sewer, a seamstress. And that could be folded up. And I have a knitter. This one might be a problem because the flowers are upside down, so I might cut that one off. And then this one is a painter, an artist. She has fancy little cowgirl boots on. And this one has script, so I might cut that off. I wouldn't be too bothered by it being upside down, but if these go together, and I'll cut this one off, so I might as well cut this one off too. So those are the 3, and then if I get a chance, I also have this one that says, all the lovelies, all this lovely feeds my soul. And then this one on the back, how's it growing? So now you know kind of what my project is going to be. And if you didn't see the previous video about my design team project, all I got from her were the belly bands. It's Artsology. I'll link it below, but she has a set of belly bands, and when you print them as they are, they're quite large. So I printed this set and this set. I love the collaging on there, and I love the bright florals. And this one with a vintage lady and some more mixed media type of work, collaging, really pretty. Forget-me-nots, I love forget-me-nots. So then I printed them again, putting 2 sets to a page. So it made them smaller. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them. I'll figure that out as I go into the book, start making it. But they won't necessarily be belly bands. I just figured I could make something with them because they were so pretty. All right, that's it for today. Not sure when I'll be back. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a video tomorrow, but I am sure going to try. So thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.